Hi, I'm John Street. I'm the managing editor here at campusreform.org. I have Ben Roger DeRay. He is the executive director of the College Republicans National Committee. Ben, it's great to have you here. It's great to see you today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I really just wanted to invite you in, just talk about, just as we head off with this new school year and the new school semester, what are the College Republicans looking at? What events you guys are looking toward? The issues that you guys are looking to push on campus? What's on your radar this semester?
Yeah, John, we're very excited this year about our plans on campus. We're growing rapidly. More chapters signed up this year for our chapter box program than have ever in the past, and we're excited to get out on campus and recruit new voters and recruit new activists to get out there and spread the Republican message across campuses and across the country. We believe that voters on campus agree with us on issues, and due to either biased campus law guidelines, biased professors, or restrictive speech codes, it's just tougher for us to get our message out there, and that's something that we're really going to fight about this year, and stick up for our students on campus and make sure that they have every resource that they need to get out there and get out the vote.
So many of the stories that we've been reporting on here at Campus Reform lately have been really socialism driven, where these students on campus, whether it's pushed kind of by professors or students on their own, or are advocating in favor of socialism. Do you, I guess, when you say that you think that students would really be able to resonate more with the Republican message or more with the conservative message, what are the main issues that you think college students would most be likely to align themselves with, rather than on the socialism side or on the progressive side?
Right. So I think as a broad look at this, right, I think that when it comes on campus, voters and students have been just force-fed the idea of socialism by progressives on Twitter, on social media, in class. But when you really drill down on what those ideas mean, we find, and we've done the research on this in the past, that those voters agree with us, and that they value liberty, and they value limited government, and a state-focused government that restores power back to our states and to local communities. And whether that's in healthcare, whether it's in college, they value liberty and getting government out of these programs. And it's on us to present that alternative to them, that there is another way to get out there and attack these issues.
So as I'm sure you're aware that one of the big issues in not only mainstream media, but also on our site Campus Reform, has been the issue of college affordability. How do middle class folks, even lower income folks, how do they go off to college with tuition and room and board and books, all the fees on top of it being so expensive? How do we make that a reality? The left has proposed making quote unquote free college for everyone. Right. What is the conservative alternative to that you referenced earlier?
Right. So for us, I think it's attacking bureaucracy, right? You go on these campuses, you have people like Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden making six figures to teach one class a week. That's crazy, right? That's money that we could be spending on, more tuitions and lowering the cost of education on campuses. And every single time that the government has gotten involved in education, whether it was when they got involved in student loans and whether they got involved in all these different programs, all it's done is just giving college, public universities a blank check to just spend more. And I think what really needs to happen is we need to take a long look at what these tuition dollars are going to, and make a good, honest effort to cut that red tape and cut that bureaucracy and bring those costs down.
So you're talking more salaries for professors and administrators. One of the things that we've really been studying at Campus Reform has been the salaries and the diversity spending on college campuses for the diversity centers, all of the salaries for diversity staff. At most of these colleges, they have, at least a dozen, if not dozens, of diversity staff making sometimes six-figure salaries. How do you go about in promoting the idea that diversity is a good thing? I think it's all about how you go about to achieve diversity. I think everyone would agree on that. Absolutely. But how do you go about presenting conservatives as those who want to achieve greater diversity while you're at the same time saying we need to pull back this spending? What is the best messaging for that?
Right, and I think it is that we.
It's difficult messaging.
It is difficult messaging, and I think we just need to make it clear on campuses, and this is something that college Republicans have always focused on, is that we are a big tent party. We're the party of Lincoln. We're the party that freed the slaves, and we're the party that will continue to present those values of equality and equal representation under the law. And we'll continue to push that in our meetings and in our programming. But at the same time, we have to be realistic about what every tuition dollar goes to. Mm-hmm. And when you go to school like UCLA, where they have these mandatory social justice orientations and all these extra costs that don't really add to the student experience, but are just a box for campuses to check off, just to appease the ultra left. It's a waste, and it's something that we should continue to fight for, ensuring that diversity stays on campus, and our meetings are diverse, and we're encouraging this diversity of ideas without just checking a box off that doesn't really contribute to the experience of students.
I'm going to switch gears just a little bit from college affordability to free speech on campus. As you know, the president had signed a free speech executive order promoting more the idea of greater free speech on college campuses. We've reported on story after story after story about free speech zones on college campuses. Conservative college Republicans to YAF chapters to Yale chapters all see these free speech zones as violations of free speech. And so what has been, I guess, you guys' message either to the administration or to different governors in different states around the country to really combat these free speech zones that these groups are view as violations of the First Amendment?
For sure. I mean, we absolutely applaud the president's executive order on that. I think it addressed and brought attention to a serious issue on so many college campuses across the country. And I think the next step for us is, we will get on campuses and we will put our message out there. And if and when, campus or administrators come out and, try to stop this, the concept of free speech zones, right, in general, you're on a college campus, you're supposed to be there to learn and, exchange ideas and understand it. And the minute we see that that's being restricted, we'll jump right in and use the resources available to us to make sure that our students can speak their minds and be encouraged to do that.
We've already seen some pushback, especially right after the president signed the executive order, from college administrators to even the presidents of some colleges issuing statements denouncing, condemning the president's executive order, basically saying this isn't needed. What would be College Republicans National Committee, what would be your message to those college administrators as to why you say such an executive order and further action would be needed?
Yeah, I'd say talk to your students, right? You talk to any college Republican on campus who's been in a class where the professor gives them a bad grade because he doesn't agree with the content of a paper, or they're worried that that's something that they have to deal with, or just talk to the people that you are representing on your campus. And every single time, there will be someone there who's experienced these issues and felt unsafe or unable to share their genuine beliefs because of the pressures that they face on campus.
In terms of funding and just the funding discrepancies between progressive groups and conservative groups on campus, and just kind of this constant battle and back and forth between groups fighting over funding from student government associations, we've seen story after story about conservative organizations denied funding because they're too much alike to another conservative group, when there are other progressive groups that there may be 3 LGBT groups, there might be 3 race minority-based groups. I guess what would be your message to students who are looking to start a college Republicans chapter, but just can't get through that red tape bureaucracy of getting the funding that they need to actually be able to get a room to hold a meeting, or to get the funding that they need just to be able to function?
Right. I think step one, reach out to us. We're available online, our phone, everything. Just come talk to us about it. We're more than happy to help. We'll get you the resources that you need to get out and get going and get started. But this also kind of touches back on the free speech issue, right? Campuses are using the power of the purse to stop people from talking on campus, and we've seen this time and time again where they'll let a speaker like Ben Shapiro come on campus and then charge our chapter a $10,000, $15,000 fee just to have a security fee, which is crazy, right? It's unfair to shut down this dialogue by making a college kid pay $15,000 to bring people on campus. And that's something, we're going to continue to fight against and work with other, great organizations out there to, continue pushing for this.
So one more thing I wanted to touch on before we let you go is this idea of the heckler's veto, where these colleges are proposing or making students pay these exorbitant amounts, right. $15,000 for a speaker fee, for example, because they're citing all of these students, these hundreds of students, if not thousands, who have an issue with the speaker because they disagree with that certain speaker. Because this is such a larger scale, it would seem, than just college administrators or student leaders disagreeing with the message that's being presented, and it's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of students who are disagreeing, taking to the streets, taking to the quad to protest, and the university is saying we're trying to do our due diligence, in their view, to make sure that the area is secure. What is the best route to ensure the security and safety of all students while allowing for free speech to occur?
Right. I think at the end of the day, that's the responsibility of the administrations on campus and for professors and school presidents, and to ensure that they are creating a safe environment for ideas to be discussed. And if there are kids on campus who want to act out, throw these temper tantrums because someone said something they don't like, it's on the school and not the students to get out there and stop that. And whether that's, providing more security at these events, or, encourage or letting them protest somewhere a little bit further away and safe, that's fine as well. But at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is it's on the administration to protect our students on campus.
Just in closing, just want to let us know just some of the events, some of the issues that you're looking forward to pushing, what you're looking to get out of this semester and this upcoming school year. What is the end goal here?
Yeah, so for us, it's an off year coming up on 2020, which is going to be a very, very important election for us and for the country. And our goal this year is to, continue to build our base of activists and kids on campus who are ready and engaged and excited to get out there and elect Republicans up and down the ballot in 2020. And that's going to be our end goal. We're going to be out there talking about these issues, talking about what young Republicans believe about different issues going into 2020, talking with candidates on how best to message to young voters, and all with the end goal of taking back the House in 2020, retaining our Senate majority, and electing Republicans up and down the ballot.
Ben, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I'm Captain Phillips with Campus Reform. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to join our team, we're always looking for new investigators, correspondents, and tipsters. Click right here to learn more. If you want to donate to help us make more videos just like the one you just watched, go ahead and click that link right there. And if you want to subscribe to be the first person to see all of our new video content, click that button down there. Just pick whichever one you think looks nicest. They all look pretty good. This is just a shameless plug for me trying to get you to click on these buttons. Okay, thanks.